Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. That is, of course, me, Kyle Branchley, in the house on this Wednesday. Let's go, hump day. We're ready for it. We got the sign. We got the two Rogue One posters. I finally have them up. You're going to have to take my word for it, because the way I put them up, you won't be able to see them on screen. I have the original one that you've been seeing the last couple of years right here, and then I got a new one. It's actually an illustration, and it's a lot smaller, but a former employee at the television station that I worked at, I guess, left it behind, and so now it's mine. So now if you come into my studio, you will assume that I'm a huge Rogue One guy, which I am. I love Rogue One. I love Andor. I love Star Wars. It's great. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday. Fan Talks podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcast. We are just fans talking sports here from the comfort of wherever you're watching or listening to this episode. This is a podcast, like I said, that you can find anywhere. I also upload on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like. If you like the video, comment if you feel so inclined, and subscribe if you want to be a part of this journey. We're talking hockey, basketball, and soccer, football for all you true ballers out there. But we're talking Gold Cup soccer today as well. So sit back and relax. We're going to have a fun time today on this Wednesday. Last night, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I've been talking NBA and hockey. June is, as you know, the time of year where the seasons come to an end. And Game 6, the Florida Panthers were up 3-2. Remember, it's a best-of-7 series. And it was an opportunity for them to win their second straight Stanley Cup final. It was the same matchup as last year, the Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers. Edmonton's trying to get revenge. Florida's trying to do something that is incredibly hard, which is to win 2 championships back-to-back. Absolutely incredible. And Florida did what they had to do, and they just slapped Edmonton in the face and won Game 6 on home ice down there in Sunrise, Florida, and they win it back-to-back. Now, you might be wondering, who cares about the Florida Panthers? Now, let me tell you, let's talk dynasties for a second. And hockey, in my opinion, arguably has not had a true dynasty for quite a while. You look at the NFL, you look at the New England Patriots, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are now a dynasty. You look at the NBA, the Golden State Warriors were a dynasty there for quite a bit. You look at MLB baseball, and now you have the LA Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani and that amazing lineup and bullpen that they've put together over the years. And the Dodgers, the last couple of years, have been the kings of Major League Baseball. Are the Florida Panthers going to turn into a dynasty on ice? Now, the reason I suggest this is because they've won it twice, 2 years in a row, and they've already opened odds for who's going to win 2026 Stanley Cups. And this is a little shallow dive into sports betting and sports odds. Essentially, as you're looking here, the Florida Panthers, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Colorado Avalanche all open at plus 700 to win the Stanley Cup. So let's say, easy math here, you go to a sports book and you say, I want to place $1. I bet $1 that the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup 2026. You place that bet right now, today, this Wednesday, plus 700. If the Florida Panthers win it next year, that $1 would turn into $700. That makes sense? So that's kind of what these plus numbers are. But anyways, the Florida Panthers are tied with the third best odds to win it all again next year. Now, wouldn't that be something else if the Florida Panthers were able to repeat not once, not twice, but to win it 3 times in a row? Now, of course, Edmonton's a very solid team, and I think, honestly, the ghosts of Stanley Cup past just haunted them this time around, with Florida getting them again. Colorado Avalanche, they could cause some noise. Carolina, maybe. Dallas, maybe. It'll be interesting to see as the season gets closer how these odds move. A lot of people like to jump on the odds right as they're released. A lot of people like to wait. For all my Utah Hockey Club, now Utah Mammoth fans, 40-1 So not bad, about halfway down the list, ahead of my Vancouver Canucks. So how about that? I mean, if you're really looking to roll the dice, San Jose Sharks 500 to 1. So that's it for NHL hockey. That's all I have to say about that, is that Florida, they got him again. A team from Florida, a hockey team from Florida, got him again and have denied the Edmonton Oilers for the second straight year and have denied the country of Canada from winning a Stanley Cup. I think it's been 34 years, 34 seasons since a Canadian hockey team has won the Stanley Cup. Wow. Crazy. Take with that with what you will. But wow, another year, another American team winning the Stanley Cup. All right, let's shift to the NBA. NBA Finals right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder are up 3-2. Game 6 is tomorrow, Thursday, the 19th. Back to Indiana. Game 5 was huge for both teams. And let me tell you why. So, series tied 2-2. Honestly, there was some controversy in Game 4 with the referees and a call and a potential momentum swing that ultimately led to the Thunder winning. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not the kind of guy that says you lost a game because of the referees. There's a million reasons that you lose every single time you lose. There's never just one thing, right? And same with winning. There's never just one thing you did to win. There's a million things you do to win. So I'm not going to talk about that. The fact of the matter is, Thunder won Game 4, tied 2-2. They go back to Oklahoma City. Now, this is a huge Game 5. Game 3, so Game 1, Game 3, Game 5. And any series are arguably huge, momentum-swinging, playoff series-changing games. Game 5 proved to be that. Now, the Thunder were up by double digits most of the game, through 3 quarters, really. And the Indiana Pacers clawed their way back in, as they do. They're a scrappy team. They're a team that's easy to root for, in my opinion. A fun team to get behind. But one issue. Your star, Tyrese Halliburton, shoots 0 for 6. I think he scored 4 points in the entire game, and they were all free throws. Goes 0 for 6, only takes 6 shots and doesn't make one of them. And yeah, you can say he's got a leg injury, but still, like 0 points from the floor, from field goal range, from your star, you're not going to win. Let's look at the other side. Shea got his points. I think he had 33, 34. Jalen Williams went for 40. Together they combined for more than half the team's points. They had their number 1 star show up. They had their number 2 guy show up. And the Pacers just didn't show up at all. So what are they going to need to do for Game 6, knowing that Tyrese Halliburton, with his injured leg, with his bruised ego, with his 0 for 6 performance, abysmal performance in Game 5, might not show up in Game 6? Can the Indiana Pacers win this game? The answer is yes, they can. That's different from will they, but they can. And what needs to happen? Let's look at past games. I believe it was Game 3. Yes, in Game 3, the Pacers, they jumped up to a 2-1 lead over the Thunder. And a lot of people were like, okay, maybe the Pacers got this. If they win one more at home, they go up 3-1, then they're cooking. The Game 3, pivotal Game 3, like I said. In Game 3, Tyrese Halliburton played pretty well. He had 17 points, 6 assists, solid from the field, did very well. Pascal Siakam had a solid game too, 15 points. This was an all-around team effort in this game. All 5 starters had double-digit points. All 5 starters played very well. None of them got in foul trouble. But something I want to mention, coming off the bench, they had 2 huge impacts off the bench. First, you got Benedict Mathurin. You're probably like, who the crap is Benedict Mathurin? Look him up. He's cool. He wears 00, so that automatically means he's cool. He actually started most of the games in the regular season, believe it or not. I don't know. I wasn't watching much Indiana Pacer basketball, and you probably weren't either, so take my word for it. Benedict Mathurin played 22 minutes off the bench, had 14 points, went to the line 7 times. Incredible. Incredible. TJ McConnell, he's a dog. Your boy from Arizona, from Tucson, 18 points off the bench, or 18 minutes off the bench, 11 points, had some great steals, was a great hustle player and defensive player. So when you have those guys performing super well off the bench and your entire starting 5 scores in double digits, then you're cooking in peanut oil. And let's compare this to Game 5. What was different in Game 5? J.J. McConnell still had 18 points off the bench. Benedict Mathurin only had 7 points. Tyrese Halliburton only had 4. And Pascal Siakam was literally the only guy doing anything. I mean, Nesmith had 14, Turner had 13, but Siakam goes for 28 and has 3 steals, 2 blocks. He's doing his job. So what the Pacers need to do is they need Tyrese Halliburton to show up. But if he doesn't, Pascal Siakam needs to go off, but he needs help from these other guys. Nesmith, Turner, Nembhard. They all need to do their part. You need like Obi Toppin, you need TJ McConnell, you need Benedict Mathurin to do their part off the bench. And that's just on offense. How do you stop OKC? Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the keys to Game 5 was to make Shai a passer. Make him pass it to other players. And because in Game 4, he had 0 assists. He had like 34 points and 0 assists. Game 5, he has 31 points, but 10 assists. So how are you going to stop this guy? He's going to score and he's going to pass. Jalen Williams, 40 points. So what are you going to do? Well, you got to shut those guys down. You got to try it again. You have to make Shai a passer, not a scorer. Yeah, and you're going to have to let Chet Holmgren beat you, right? Dort, Alex Caruso, Andrew Wiggins. Like, you're going to have to let these other guys beat you. But really, Game 6 at home, your back's against the wall, Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton may not be there when the lights shine brightest. How are you going to respond? Game 6 tomorrow night, Thursday. The Thunder could win their first title 1979 when they were the Seattle Supersonics. Or the Pacers might fight back and force a Game 7. We'll stay tuned for that. All right, friends. Let's talk football now. No, I'm not talking NFL football. I'm not talking college football. That's not quite yet. Wait until August, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking football. You may know it as soccer. The 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup soccer tournament is happening now. And if you don't know what any of those words I just said, then you're in the right place. So the CONCACAF Gold Cup, it's a soccer tournament that happens every 2 years, and it's hosted in North America, includes teams in North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. So any country that's included in those boundaries has the opportunity to play in this tournament every 2 years. Now, not every country actually makes it in, but they have the opportunity to do so. So there's 16 teams that have made the CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament. And let me say, games have already started. So you've probably already been watching these games. If you haven't, go check it out. Way more entertaining than MLS soccer now that Premier League is over. This is great soccer to be watching during the summer, especially during a time where the NHL is just wrapped up. The NBA can wrap up tomorrow. There's not a ton of sports that are going to be on TV other than baseball. So if baseball's not your thing, watch this football Gold Cup soccer tournament. So as I mentioned, 16 teams have already qualified. They're playing games in Mexico and Canada and the United States. Those are the 3 hosts. And it's broken up into groups. 4 groups with 4 teams. And you play everyone in your group, round robin style, which, like I just said, means you play everyone in your group. So you play 3 games against the other 3 teams in your group. And the United States, for all my United States listeners out there, they are in Group D. They have a very favorable group. They have Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and Saudi Arabia. I should mention that they always invite some random country to join. So Saudi Arabia is playing all these Central America and North American teams this year. But the United States, very favorable group. Canada is in Group B for all my Canadians out there. Hello. They are in Group B, again, very favorable group. They have Curacao. Awesome. If you've never been there, go check out Curacao. Love that country. El Salvador and Honduras. And then in Group A is where Mexico is. All my Mexico listeners, hola, hello, what's up? Group A, a little tougher. They have Costa Rica. Well, Costa Rica is probably their only threat. Suriname and Dominican Republic round out that. In the Group C, Panama, Guatemala, Jamaica, and Guadeloupe. So the United States have already played a game. They beat Trinidad and Tobago. I believe the game was on Sunday. So they have 3 points now. Honestly, to move on to the next round, they need to probably just win one more game. It'd be nice if they win all three. You win all three, and then they cruise on to the next round. But it is fun to watch these games. Let's see what games are on tonight. Tonight, we have Costa Rica and the Dominican Republic at 5 p.m., Suriname and Mexico at 8 p.m. So some really fun soccer matchups. Go watch this Gold Cup. And you're probably wondering, why? I mean, you win a trophy in the Gold Cup, but what's the big deal, right? Let me remind you that the World Cup, the Men's World Cup, is next summer, 2026, and it will be hosted in North America with games in Mexico, games in the United States, and games in Canada. I would love to go to a World Cup game. I think my brother and I and my dad are planning on doing that, but it's just a nice precursor into the World Cup, this 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup. So go watch it. Again, there are a few games tonight. Let's see, when is the next time? I believe the United States play. The USA plays tomorrow on Thursday against Saudi Arabia. So if you want to just catch the US games, they play tomorrow. Games every single day. It's just fun, super cool. You should check it out. And go USA and Canada. I'm rooting for both. Obviously, USA is my country. Canada, I served a church mission up there. Interesting fact before we sign off, actually 3 teams have only ever won the Gold Cup. Can you name them? You got it. USA, Mexico, and Canada. Will it be one of those 3 teams again this year? My heart and my mind says yes. Let me know down in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Fan Talk. Again, this is a podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcasts. We have so much fun here, and I'm glad you joined me today. We'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.